I'm live or where I'm live, by the way.
Oh, you're actually going to use Ellie's PC?
Yeah.
Okay. Change Ellie names to Edge.
No. I will never.
Edgely.
Edgely. Awesome.
I wonder
How
what my
long
stream
got
title
to
is.
kill Flora?
Oh god. I think you just taken the ire from some of our teammates.
Let me see what my title is. Lost in a Forest is actually correct. That's good enough. Yeah, the title is fine. I was on the right anyway because it was the last thing I did.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So where's the rest?
Died.
They unalived.
Perished.
Yes, you did.
You're bad.
My chair, my 2 monitors, all my stuff, and now I'm.
You are not required for the next 5 hours.
Oh god.
Excuse me?
Hmm?
Oh.
No hugs for you. Don't fucking dab me either.
Are you actually dabbing her? Are you
Yes.
actually
I don't
trying to
remember
put yourself in a grave?
No, she would never. She knows what I mean. Oh, fun stuff. Baby, you need your glasses.
You think she's gonna give you a pass, but in reality she's already plotting your demise.
suppose you can have a hug. Even if you're a little cheeky shit.
You're a cheeky shit. Oh, Suka is there. What are we missing?
We are missing Ree. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
What are you doing? Why am I
There
hearing
he-
my Discord blooping?
Hello.
I'm not doing anything. It's him typing that.
Oh, okay. Look on your face means you're up to something.
There we go. Tuk 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 tuk. Tuk 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 tuk. Okay. I need one more thing here, and then I think we can start. You said you already
Yup.
started streaming?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit more here. And then we're gonna be pretty fine. Bzz, bzz. Sorry.
Who's it?
Oh, you guys didn't hear me. Fuck. Wel, gezondheid.
Did you
I was
Close up.
talking the whole time. I was like, okay, I guess.
It's okay, we just don't like you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was actually busy hanging posters from my Weep ventures.
Hmm.
Yeah, what now?
Oh, I went to like Comic Con in Utrecht.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yes. You know, I'm like one of the 2 weeps in all of Friesland. So we like spent the whole weekend there.
No.
Good to know.
But yeah, my room is filthy weep trash now.
Whose room is it at this point?
Wait. I guess all like full on blown weep. Or like D&D nerd, I guess.
Mm.
Okay, this should then.
That's good.
Okay, that's updated. Save.
Mm. I'm gonna dry my hair, but I'll shut the door.
All right. All your good
Oh, damn,
rolls used.
I
Yeah.
rolled a net one.
All right. Almost done here. Okay, now let me open up my notes over here, where the fun stuff is written on. Okay. So this is here. Okay. 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 Everybody is ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Let me quickly open Chrome since Firefox doesn't support the roll dice thing.
Okay, weird. Whoever is ready, just put an R in the in-game chat on Roll20. Then we'll do a small recap uh, of what happened last time, and then we will continue where we last left off. Okay, once please. Main storyline. There we go. Great. All right. So, last time your characters arrived at a village called Amijiro. You've all noticed that this village itself is definitely bigger than what you've encountered last time in the village of Fort Manos, and there is more bustling life. Well, in a sense, and but you have also noticed that there is a eerie green mist surrounding the entirety of the village. And after looking around a little bit, you've all noticed that there is a plague currently in this village, as was indicated by the plague masks that a lot of the adults are wearing, and the, in the way that children are uh, split up from each other in terms of whether they are or are not infected, but also in terms of their caste, in terms of the hierarchy that is still present in this village. One such peculiar child called Sammy was found by Sabine in the children's playground, where this particular child had a unique color of band, its unique category, um, where people believe that he was the reason this plague existed. Um, you've also managed to meet the mayor secretary, Arabella, who has given many of you certain tasks to complete. One such task was given to Skux, who, unbeknownst to the rest, but still known to him, met a vengeful ghost in the cemetery of Mijiro, and the ghost asked for Skux to provide the soul of the one who supposedly is the reason for their death. He called them the Plague Doctor. Skux decided that rather than to tell anything to the guard, he killed a lone owl and put the blame of the strange sightings in the graveyard on the owl. In exchange for saying yes, his dagger has gained a strange aura. For Charles, who was currently helping Dr. Zeno doing his routes within the medical hub, unbeknownst to the rest, but and also partially unbeknownst of Charles, there was an eerie force compelling him to follow Dr. Zeno's after finishing their rounds. Zolb and Peter had to undergo a certain rite. I wouldn't say rite. I wouldn't say a certain test to see if they would be able to best the dangers of the mire, where it is advised to evade more than to engage. For any form of in or out of the plague is another risk that this city cannot take, this town cannot take. Although Peter managed to evade with more grace, Zolb had a few more hurdles to overcome, but also managed to prove himself to the guard captain that they were able to possibly best the swamp. They were given a small signia to give to Arabella, and Arabella in turn told them that they needed to collect something called some lavender blooms to help with the smell in the town, but also to find something called anti-bloom. And anti-bloom is a flower that a lot of the nurses and the doctors and Dr. Zeno use to help combat the plague effect. And finally, we have Sabine, who currently, after some persuasive effects, managed to procure a more easier uh, quest to go around the village and provide all the people with small bags that contain the contents that should be put within their plague masks. And I think we will continue on with what Sabine is supposed to be doing on her quest.
Okay.
I actually managed to finally put in the music sounds that I wanted from last time. A bit of more like a, let's just say, a good amount of background music, right? All right. So to reiterate a few things while you're in this little town or city or whatever village, depends on the size. There are multiple points which you can visit that are of interest to you. Some you've already visited, some you can revisit, and currently you are on a quest that is not the most difficult one, but you are free to do and go as you please. You can either go to a secluded house on the edge of town, can either go to a cemetery, you can either go to a healer house, the children's playground, an abandoned shack on the left edge of town, or to the mayor's house, or continue your assigned quest.
Right.
What will you do?
I think I would go there to the secluded house first. Oh. Okay. Wait, you can hear me, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did Isaac just die?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
There is no god.
Oh, I can
God,
escape now.
God has abandoned us.
Again.
Now you get to make up what you find in the house.
You found a
Uh,
Gatling gun
Ooh,
and a cross.
cross? I don't want a cross.
You
And a
go
silver
around
handgun.
having the cross in your left hand and a Gatling gun in your right hand, and you say, "Away, demon!" while you're Gatling down whatever is in front of you.
Sounds very Doom.
From Sabine to Constantine.
Probably still
Oh.
won't hit the massive boss either.
Wow, I had 2 good rolls already. Okay, I'll have you know.
Sorry, I needed to.
That
do
was
some
your
stuff.
own good rolls.
Sorry, I needed to do some stuff. I was talking to 2 different people, so and one of them has unfortunately lost someone, so I'm trying to be nice here. Okay. So there might be moments where I will probably not immediately answer, as I'm trying to support them. Okay. Sabine, as you approach this secluded house, before you would even go halfway through, as you look through your list of houses that you have to visit, this is actually one of the houses that you have to visit.
Oh.
And while the rest was, let's just say, on the piece of paper, on this parchment, on this scroll, you see from top to bottom it being in a straight line. This house was recently added. The age of the pen, the ink that was used is newer than the rest, so this was just an added on the bottom. And and then you see some initials, 4S dot. That's what you see. Which is weird because for the rest you see different names, while so a shortened first name but added with a last name. So for example, if your names would be on it, you would see like C for Charles, then ending with dot Smith, and so forth and so forth. This one just has S dot, shortened for the name. And just as you approach, you hear from behind you stone, "Hey, stop, Miss Sabine!" And then you see from behind you Sammy running towards you while still holding Flora's hand.
I take my bow.
You're
Okay.
an asshole. And it's like, what you doing at my house?
Mouse. Sammy, I have to deliver these weeds. I think they're meant to counter some of the plague effects, and your house is on the list, so I suppose you will get some of them as well.
Oh, I get some? He's looking a bit downwards, but I never got any before. Why am I getting them now?
Your name is on the list. I'm just doing as I'm told. Why did they never get you any? I mean, you're immune to whatever this is, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why they never got me any. It's weird.
Well, do you want them?
Well, to be honest, I don't really need
Hello.
them. And then he looks towards Flora. Just give them to her.
No.
Do we know how to use these herbs?
They have not instructed you how. No. Mostly these herbs are already processed together in a way that they just have to be put within the masks at the tip of the nose and then meant to be inhaled as the fumes or as it slowly starts to, how do you say that?
Burn, yeah, I know what you
As they
mean.
slowly start
Oh, right.
to either be burned or as they are used to, they dry basically, and then whatever evaporates
right.
is then inhaled.
Yeah, if you show Sammy, then we'll give them to Flora instead.
All right. So as you do that, he's like, "Well, once you're done, me and Flora will just be here at the house. Is that okay?"
Uh-oh.
The other kids were looking a bit too mean at us.
Mm. Mm. What are you planning to do at the house?
This is my house.
Mm-hmm.
No.
What are you
That's
planning to
you.
do with my house?
I'm doing my job.
Well, okay, you did it.
You're just stealing
Do we
my
have other
pet?
houses to be at?
Fine. Fine. I'll get going. If you don't behave, I'll stab you.
Well, the same goes for you. I can stab you too.
We'll have a fight.
And then you see Flora also waving towards you as you go.
Okay. Bye, Flora. I wave back.
You see her just, breathing a little bit out with a smile, and then she turns around, and just as Sammy opens the door, she like with her foot like pushes Sammy from like his ass in the door, boom, and then she's like, oof. You see him like go inside, and she just follows and closes the door.
How old are they again?
10.
Okay.
Keep your FBI open up. Keep your mind out of the gutter. By the way, you're mind controlled. Shut up.
Okay. Do I continue or next player?
Let's see. What else did I write here? All right. So, as you process from house to house over here, you see that as you go downwards to the list, every house that you pass through sort of becomes either bigger, has more on it in terms of decoratives. Some even start to have like oh, I forgot the name. One second. Fences around it. That was it. Some even more expensive than the last. And then you arrive at a few final houses that are actually in the same part of town, right over here. Let's just say. And these are indeed very very fancy houses, actually, considering how you went from an old secluded house next to a cemetery and an abandoned shack that you've passed through multiple times. Even the children playground is a bit, doesn't really have a lot to be desired. And all the other houses have either some holes in them, destroyed glass, destroyed windows, and so forth and so forth. You believe that you've entered a part of the town where the more well-off people might be living. And this is also very apparent as most children that pass through there all have those blue ribbons on the side of their arms. I would like for you, as you do your rounds, because most people who open the door just look you up and down once, ask what you want, and, well, you do your job, you give off the sacks. They don't really look at you too much, they just instantly close the door. And every time you're on your way, I would like for you to roll me a perception check to see how much you hear as you do your rounds in this part of town.
Like for each or just like...
No, just in general. This is
Okay.
general as you go around and what you hear. So with that perception roll, you do hear that there are whispers in the environment. You do hear that there are people talking either behind your back or just in general, very quietly, without even noticing your presence. Um, you hear a few rumors as you go around. One person stating that the town mayor should put less work into the
We're
healer's
taking a
house
flashlight in there. There's no way
and
I'm
should work more
managing
at the
to aim
mayor's
it
house
in.
as what his job should be done. You hear other rumors talking about Sammy, how he should not even still be in this town, and how the mayor can still, give him sanctuary and should put that cursed child either out of its misery or out of the town.
Mm-hmm.
You also hear other um, small tidbits about the plague, but unfortunately, these rumors evade your ears a bit too much. There is not enough context around these things, and then you actually hear a rumor about not a rumor, or you hear a little conversation about one small child that you once talked to in the child playground, and they're talking with his mother, who is talking
That's fine.
about a group of
Everyone's
people who arrived
picking
at
all
the
their little
city,
parts for the vape.
and the mother instantaneously like, "Honey, I understand that people outside of this village are interesting and new, but you have to understand that you have a certain stature to uphold. Do not mix in with their kind. Is it understood?"
No
And
way.
then the child looks down, and is like, "Yes, mother.
Jesus.
All right. Go inside and do your chores. Go take your amount of medicine and fill up the masks of your father and mine. While and then she actually notices you approach because you are approaching the final house that's on your list.
Yeah.
Oh, hello there. You must be. She looks you up and down a little bit with no form of like, how do you say that?
You know our birthday today?
She doesn't hide it. How she looks up and down at you, looking whether you are, you know, of stature. And she's like, "Can I help you?"
No, but I can probably help you.
And that is how?
I'm delivering these packages for the healer's house.
Ah,
I
finally.
played a wee bit
You'd think they'd
yesterday.
be here
My
faster.
game kept crashing.
All right. And then she takes
Yeah, I
the
was
purse from you.
playing
It's a bit
killer.
less than I
I would
asked
do
for,
it
but
as soon as the
oh
last
well.
person left the
Nothing we can
gate.
do about it. It's at least more
Oh, I didn't
than
get any. No, I got
it's at least more than last time. Ugh, I swear to God, these nurses, right? You ask for them one thing, and then they're like, "Yeah, but
Survivor was
everybody
fine though.
needs them." It's like, honey, we are the most important people here, you know?
Person can
And
join my party.
just give us the goddamn amount that we're asking for.
Remember that?
How difficult
Yeah.
is that?
I know,
Nobody
right?
else knows, and indeed,
Oops.
indeed.
They kept like killing themselves.
Anyways,
for me. It's like, what are you
is there anything
doing?
else you can do here, or what?
Let me
Navigate
think.
shape, and they would run in front of the killer for me. But they were
Would
on
this
death
person
row,
even have
so they-
information we want?
That's all right. Take your time. What you want to say or do.
Oh god, this is gonna be awkward.
Can I just look past her into the house? Like, what is there?
Oh, well, the house
Feels like I'll
itself
be bringing
is
anyone
high
to get
stature.
chased
The
today.
wood is always up to good quality, so that means that it's always being looked at. You see that it is a two-story house, so
Oh,
the
it's
bottom,
plague.
sorry, a three-story house. So there is the main floor, the first floor, and then the second. Um, you also see
Yeah,
multiple
I just want that
incenses
to come up where
hanging from the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
where you can actually from the side you also see the child not just fill up the two to three different mosques at the back of
Oh,
the
I see
house.
her.
What I'm telling you is also
She's
based off
chasing
that perception check you did.
Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going further on that. And you also see the child just going up on high furniture that's a bit higher, so he can actually put some some candles inside those incense burners that are hanging from the ceiling. Other than that, you don't see anything more of interest with that room.
Oh, I would like to get away from here.
And then because you're not really being very subtle about it, she's like, Hello, dear. Can I help you with anything else, or are you just gonna go like you're supposed to?
Is there anything else I can do for you, my fair lady of high stature?
Roll me a persuasion check
Fucking
with
bootlicker.
advantage. You see her blush a little bit.
Persuasion, goddammit, I'm not good at
Oh
that.
boy.
You
Like,
certainly aren't.
she shakes her head a little bit. Is like, as much as flattery is appreciated, I don't think one of your stature would be very helpful to me right now. Okay, bye. And then she just goes inside and slams the door in your face. Nice.
I want to kick her door and then leave.
All right, you can do that. She's like,
Okay.
"What the?" And just as you run away, it's like,
Run away.
I knew you were gonna be trouble. Actually, hear from the distance. Okay. Let us change scene a little bit. Skux, you just exit the graveyard.
Yes.
What will you do?
First off, I'd like to just put in some fluff from when I left the
Oh
graveyard.
boy.
Oh, sure. Be my guest.
Once I am once I am out of
Oh, can I
out of
ask
the-
one little thing, please? Sorry. I don't know, but Edge, I can hear
Yeah.
everything Ellie is saying in the background.
Yeah, I'll mute myself. That's okay.
I'm not saying that she shouldn't talk. It's just hard to understand Skux
Yeah.
and the rest. And the rest then. Okay, continue, Skux.
Yeah. So once I'm out of range from the guard, I will rip the herbs out of my mask.
Out of your mask.
Yeah.
Sure. As you, ripping herbs out of your mask in the middle of town. Some of the people are actually looking at you a bit ridiculously, and you know. And what do you do with the herbs that you just took out of your mask?
Shove them in my backpack and I continue going.
All right, where would you like to go?
Do I happen to see Sabine from here?
No. Although the map looks small, the village is fairly large in size. There are even like I would say that there are even houses in between. You know, there are streets, there are ways. It's not just what you exactly see on your screen. So no,
Right.
you cannot see her. Like from
I
your
will-
position. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
I will approach like in center of town in front of the healer's house and see if I can see any of my companions, quote unquote companions.
I would say from how long you have to walk and from the moment you exited the graveyard being with Sabine's rounds, I would say that at this point Sabine is talking with the final lady. At this point, you do see from because there is a straight line from you to the mayor's house. You do see Peter and Zolb exiting the mayor's house.
Right, and my character never caught what they were going to do, right?
I think not. You left right after you were given the job, without even listening to what the others got.
I will. I will approach them briskly, as fast as I can, without getting any, without running, so I won't catch any suspicion or anything.
All right, sure. In I wouldn't say clear daylight, but in daylight you are you're of small stature. People are used for goblins to walk faster, seeing they have smaller feet, and they're not as tall, so they have to run faster to catch up to any people of larger sizes. Let's just say that as you are almost there, you hear a screaming from the edge of town, and that's the moment where Sabine, for example, runs away from that house. You're still a while away from the mayor's house, but let's just say the woman herself has a loud voice. Peter, Zolp, you do see Skux as, fast but not fast approaching you guys.
Why is Skax walking like that? That's very unusual.
Does he
I would
need a
like to
toilet?
just say that my head is tilted down, but my eyes are looking at you, glowing
He has bright yellow eyes.
I think he wants to talk to us.
orange.
Orange? Orange. Orange, you glad to see him.
Oh my god.
So walk out.
You
Walk
have
out when
to
we're
laugh
leaving.
at your DM's jokes or else penalties ensue.
I would rather take the penalty, thank you very much.
Oh, great joke.
You're
He's a
mind
good
controlled.
guy.
You'll do anything what I say anyway.
Right, I'll walk up to Skax and see what he has to say. By the way, he's looking intently at us. So, Skax, what's up?
I will stop, look straight up at him, because I need to tilt my head backwards and look up in the sky to look at him.
I look straight down.
Yeah, exactly. No, do you, is this everyone? Where is everyone?
I have no idea. Last time I seen Charles, he was helping around the other doctors, and Sabine just fucked off somewhere. But I did heard a lady booming. Booming? Playing
It's
a
at this point that Sabine is arrives about over here in the middle of the road between the healer's house and the mayor's house. So you do see her from the distance. Zolp actually sees her.
Funny wing lady.
I'll turn around and be like, does Sabine see us?
You see Sabine once you turn around and Sabine sees you.
I will like wave her in and be like, come here, come here.
Not suspicious at all.
I'm a goblin, it's okay.
It's part of the parcel.
So, as Sabine approaches Skux and Zolp and Peter, you're, busy doing your stuff. The door of the healer's house opens up, and from it, we actually see Dr. Zeno, together with Charles, exit, and is like, Dr. Charles, it was very nice of you
No
to help me
problem.
with this endeavor. But currently, we are all right with our rounds,
go get
and
him.
here is a little insignia. You can give that to my secretary, Arabella, and she will help you with your payment. Thank you very much. I do expect you here tomorrow, and, well, let's just say we'll do another more rounds, all right? Toodaloo! And then he snaps his fingers as the door closed, and you're out of your trance. You don't remember anything.
I like look down at my head. I see money. I look back at the healer's
There's
house
not
and
money.
like,
It's an insignia coin.
Oh,
that you just
insignia,
have to
okay.
give, yeah.
okay, I look at the insignia coin. I look back at the healer's house and like, another day at work. I like pretend nothing happened.
No, she's found up.
Anyways, okay. So you just exit out as Sabine approaches Skux and the rest. Skux, what would you like to say as you are, getting everybody together?
Well, do I see Charles?
With the way the house is tilted, not yet.
Okay. First of all, do any one of you know where Charles is?
Most likely here at his house.
We'll go get him later. First of all, take those herbs out of your masks now.
What for?
Do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Do any one of you have
Yeah,
high
let's
nature,
get
by the way?
Rebecca.
Nature. I should have decent nature.
I'm not proficient, but I have +4.
Good thing you actually
Minus
can
2.
read.
+4.
I will show, since I only really know about Sabine, I'll shove my herbs onto Sabine and ask her to inspect them.
Okay, I will inspect them indeed. What do I find, God?
Depends on what you're inspecting for.
What am I inspecting for?
Ah, yeah, she's only got.
Hallucinogens, corrupting influence, anything that fucks up your mind.
Right, I would like to do that, God.
Sure. You can roll me a nature check to inspect the. Oh, that's a
Oh
natural
my
20.
god.
Damn.
Okay, so how are we gonna do this? Because knowing something and discovering something are two different things. You are familiar with the lavender flowers, so let's start with these. So the lavender flowers that are mixed with these. So what they provide for you are indeed a form of calming scent. So lavender flowers are sometimes used, for like examples, for spells that have a charming
I'm 100
effect. But
happy
you
birthday
know,
wish
you
both
need
Sean
to
babies
have
and
a
his trophy.
spellcaster for it to use
He's been much on
these
today, but I
types
had
of
a spa day and I
flowers.
trained him to take roads, so
As for its effect right now, these types of flowers, they are just that, lavender flowers. They smell good. They give you, they offset any bad forms of smells, which which you would have noticed a bit by now, Skux, because the smell around is not the most enjoyable without the lavender flowers. As for
I
the
succeeded on my roll.
as for the um, as for the other flower, which Sabine knows, is I think you don't know it yet. Um, you actually don't
like
know
that they
what
got
this
the
flower
spa.
is, Sabine. Even with a natural 20, if you don't know what it is,
Hmm.
but you can indeed inspect any form of similarities that it might have with other types of flowers. And after careful consideration, seeing what you've read in books and also what you've seen in nature,
Hmm.
also considering that your master was an alchemist, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
um, well, you can make the assumption, Zolp. If you can make the assumption, you could
Spot
say
that
that to
kindred it,
Sabine
they
that this
normally
could
have
be
it.
the anti-bloom, but you were informed that anti-bloom and lavender were mixed together to put into the masks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So you could notify it if it could maybe help Sabine understand more during her
Off my
her
great
nature
high
check.
for being chased. One more time.
I've
Um,
already forgotten the
the
name.
flower, it's sorry, continue.
Sorry, I forgot the name of it again.
Anti-bloom.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Is there anything else you'd say, or do I continue?
No, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So, with this roll, you have managed to deduce all the
Oh, and I did
forms
write
of
yesterday.
similarities that you
He was
currently
very
know
mean.
from other flowers that are, for example, also
He was fast rotting
um,
the whole
in
time.
its family. And
Like
these
window.
flowers do indeed seem like from a family of flowers, which I honestly don't know the name of, that is indeed used by many healers, clerics, and a lot to combat certain diseases because its strain has an effect on virulent plagues, virulent diseases, bacteria, and viruses that combat it. Although they cannot prevent some of these can, in a lot of ways, either completely hold off or like stop it for a while, or um, slow it down to a point where it almost doesn't advance enough to actually hurt someone. But at some point, even with these types of flowers, uh, the plague wins, or the virus, or the disease. That's what you can take from these types of flowers. Not a no. Even with a natural 20, even with your not knowledge of this particular flower, but you do know of its parent strain and whatnot, um, this is what you can take off it.
Alright, I tell Skux. I think they're literally just
Yeah.
flowers, the ones that I know of.
That's why you don't say anything.
But they
Like,
aren't
oh, I'll
the
leave it here,
flower.
and just take it and go.
From my experience from poisons, you can find one flower that is a lookalike of another that is either healing or a poisonous. So get those things out of your masks and hide them.
Okay, I'll take him out if Skux says it.
Oh, then
How did you come to such a conclusion that they would be?
I haven't informed anyone about my ghost sights, my ability to communicate with ghosts, so no. What should I say?
At this point, while you see Sabine inspecting the flowers, Charles, you did notice the group at the edge of town to the mayor's house. So you can do whatever you would like to do.
I just like walk over there and like wave to the group.
And once he's inside range, I will just take him by the scruff of his neck, drag him down to my level, take my hand inside his mask, and rip out the herbs.
Oh dear, do you want
Jesus.
that to happen, Charles?
Seeing as I was just under influence of like mind control spell, I'm
You
still a
have
bit.
no recollection and you don't have any after effects from it. Just
No?
don't worry about it. No, no,
Okay.
no. If you had
So-
after effects, then it's not a very good spell or not a very good caster.
Well, fair enough. I just let it happen since I don't consider Skux a threat, so I don't immediately act on it.
Alright, okay, so it happens. So Skux pulls you down, and exactly as he says happens, he then puts his hand in your mask. You can smell his goblin hands on your face.
They are cleaner
And-
than most goblins.
You
But then
were
again,
just at a
I've been in a
cemetery.
graveyard and stabbed a dead body, so
Yeah.
I almost throw up of the smell.
roll a constitution roll.
Alright, so that happens, and now Skux has the flowers in his hands, and Charles is looking at him.
I will just inform them that I have not told anyone of you besides Sabine, but I can communicate with the dead, and I just went to the graveyard.
You can what now?
Communicate with the dead.
That's a quite high level spell. I had no idea you were such an accomplished arcane user.
I'm not. I just look at him, and I'm not.
Huh.
Are you sure you're not imagining things because of the smell?
Crazy company.
You're the one.
Are
to
you
close
sure
it.
you don't imagine this knife going through your neck?
Oh dear, holy shit, okay.
Should he roll intimidation? Because
Depends on what the actual intent is here right now. So you
No, it was just to counter it. It wasn't to intimidate him. I don't want to roll
you don't have you don't really have a good history with intimidation. Actually, your brother as well. He's horrible at intimidation rolls.
better strength rolls.
Yeah, yeah.
I just say
no.
like, okay, it's fine, calm down, I'll believe you. I don't want to escalate things. And
Just
like,
to just to be fancy about it, I want to like conjure a little bit of the ghost magic in my hand, and then snuff it out.
Fascinating.
All right. So Peter, although you are a knowledge person of the arcane, what you saw before you wasn't immediately an essence of a spell. There was necrotic energy surrounding the rogue. You can already make a deducement because of a history check that you're gonna make right now.
You better roll a good one.
All right.
Nice.
You've heard stories about certain individuals of the more darker nature that, through whatever means or reason, have come into contact with certain energies. The stories tell about people who sleep in graveyards, make a deal with necromancers, become apprenticed to them, or even just by sheer luck or unluck, or being unlucky, come across an artifact of necrotic energy or powers, and they, rather than being consumed or wielding it, they absorb it, become one with it, and allow them to have abilities that normally would require indeed high levels of power and strength in terms of the arcane. We are talking about, if I'm not mistaken, phantom rogues is the correct term?
Yep.
Yes, phantom rogues.
Ah, very well.
This you know.
Right, Skax? You want
Right.
to wait? But for now, I'll believe you. I'll take out the herbs out of my mask and pocket them.
All right. right?
Did you do that too, Sol?
I already did it. Yeah, I did it like as soon as you said.
Did you eat it?
I was tempted, but I haven't yet.
Good.
I love this. Oh my
Uh,
god.
so, so I was approached by a ghost while in the graveyard, and he told me their killer, which is the Plague Doctor, which
As she
you,
said,
Charles, have been working with.
Have I? I don't remember that much of it. I only remember going in and like
doing your
working with
rounds.
him,
Yep.
I'll
doing my
just
rounds,
I'll
helping.
just look at in question that you just came out of there.
So Charles,
Yeah.
just to be 100% on what is happening, you feel not of the ordinary. For you, what you did multiple rounds in the healer's house. You asked questions to patients. You helped patients either by magical or physical means in terms of healing, and that's what you've been doing all the time. No loops, no gaps in your mind. This just to make this is now outside of the game. Just to make a good point, if someone who mind controls you manages to make it so that you don't see any form of magical play around you, like gaps in your mind, this is high level of perfection. Not wouldn't say high level in spells, but high levels of perfection in their magics. All right. So, Charles, there is no strange thing that you could possibly. For you, it was like a normal day of helping.
All right. No, I just did my rounds and helped people. Nothing out of the ordinary.
For now. Peter and Saul, what kind of quest did you guys get from the lady inside the mayor's house?
I just asked if I could see the swamp, and then I was asked to do a test by the guards where I had to evade their slashes for 3 rounds. After that, I got a pass and I can go into swamp now.
Stupid guards.
Well, you didn't. You insulted them and you actually punched them twice.
He started it though.
I'm not sure about that.
Touch my head.
Skux will nod and say, "You always pay back twice." Anyway, the apparition told me that there was something to find out in the marshes, so we might want to go there to look for whatever they wanted me to find. I also have a sneaking suspicion about the abandoned shack on the west side of the town. Apparently, that was the old healer's house. It was abandoned early on and moved to the bigger one over here. I want to inspect it and see if we can find any clues.
So.
While
I
we're
guess-
going that way, we should also go to Flora because I gave her the herbs for her mask, and I feel like we should take
I was
hers
screaming
as
inside. I was screaming inside my head. Don't, no.
well. I couldn't have known.
No, I know. I didn't say anything either. Do that now then.
No. Just to reiterate a few things that the ghost said. The ghost said, I'll work with bullet points, so just the important parts. One being that, according to the ghost, the one that killed them was the plague doctor.
Mhm.
The ghost asked you to bring them their soul and enchanted your blade, your dagger, in a strange way.
Okay.
The soul also what else did he say? I think that was everything that the soul said. They just
No,
wanted revenge.
didn't you
the-
mention something about something
the
connected
guard, I
to?
think. Sorry.
I may just imagine. I may just make this up, but I thought the ghost told me there was something linked to plague doctor out in the
The
marsh.
ghost did not mention, I think, the shack. What I think it was the guard that walked with you that
Yeah,
mentioned.
the shack is from the god, but the ghost told me something about the plague doctor and the marsh.
Yes, the marsh and the plague doctor. So the plague doctor is to the ghost somewhere in the marshes, in the Black Mire. That's the correct term, the Black Mire,
The plague doctor is out there.
according to the ghost. Yeah.
Are we talking about the same plague doctor then?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I thought it was the one that Charles had the pleasure of working with.
Yes.
You mean Dr. Zeno? Well, he's
Yeah.
a doctor.
He is.
Well, doctor, yes.
But I didn't plan on killing the doctor just yet.
What if
so-
there's two doctors? We should be careful
That-
before we
that-
start stabbing people,
Yeah,
Scott.
Yeah, but that's exactly my plan. I didn't plan on killing the doctor just yet. Because that is too easy. I was planning on going out to the marsh.
Anyway,
Alright,
before we go
as
out,
you-
we should have a look at the shack and take the herbs from Flora.
All right. So as you finish talking, from behind Charles, you actually see Dr. Zeno approach. It's like, oh, hello there. I remember you all. These are your friends, Dr. Charles. Am I not mistaken?
That is correct, Dr. Zenos.
I see, I see. Well, I'm very thankful for your help that you're doing here in my little village. But I would love to continue talking, but I have some work to do in the mayor's house. As he passes through you all, he looks at Skux with the flower in his hands. It's like, I would severely advise you to keep these flowers within your masks. They are what are protecting you from the airborne virus plague. Oh.
I
No,
will shove the safe flower into my mouth and start chewing while looking at him.
Ingestion orally is another way, but that reduces the longevity of the flowers. So, oh well. He knocks on the door and opens it. Arabella, dear, we have some things to talk about that I noticed in the healer's house. And then he closes the door, and you just hear some muffled sounds as they continue talking. And then actually, before the door closes, you actually see her. Of course, Mayor Zeno, of course.
So he-
Oh, what am I talking about? Arabella is. Yeah, Mr. Zeno, of course.
Stacy!
So she called him the mayor. Is that correct?
You heard that, yeah. Dr. Zeno is also the mayor of this town.
So what's the plan, Skax?
Get the
You-
girl to safety first. Then we inspect the hut and then we'll go to the marsh.
We got to
Sabine
get a
currently
pass.
knows- Sorry, what?
We have to get a pass for the marsh. The guards hit you.
Oh, that is correct. To be able to go into the marsh, you have to show that you are evasive enough to survive its. Well, so okay. Let me reiterate something called stealth. In daylight, in front of hundreds of people passing through, trying to stealth, blatantly in front of them, is
Hey,
quite ballsy.
This isn't in front of them.
27 is pretty high, though.
It is pretty high. It just, but like, if I put a napkin, like no, not a napkin. If I put a giant cloth over my head and go stealth, yes, I'm stealth. Nobody can see me, but they see a moving giant cloth.
Skux can talk
But
to
I-
you, be a ghost.
But I'm a small cloak.
Mm-hmm. It's
Still
not
a
like
moving
magical
cloak.
invisibility, but if you do have magical invisibility, then that would probably work.
Peter.
Don't look. Listen. As much as I would like to help you becoming invisible, unfortunately, I am still not as arcanely gifted just yet. I need to
Curses.
study some more before
One
I
of-
can do such things.
Just one of these days. One of these days, I promise. I'll turn invisible and he
Okay.
can't say shit.
Probably there might be a way. So here's the thing. You have to understand that if you want to stealthily go around and evade the guards, fine, we can do that, right? But when you say I want to stealth and then just walk through them in front of their faces, that's not really how it goes.
Wait, isn't this Oblivion? Skyrim?
No, this is not Oblivion. Suddenly
have
they don't have
buckets?
pants or a bucket above their head. Doesn't work like that.
I can just approach them and put a bucket on each head there, and everyone
I,
can
I
flash.
conjure buckets.
Conjure bucket. Anyways, what would you like to do, Skux?
I'd like to at least get Sabine to run the hell over to the little girl.
The last known location that you know that the girl was at the children's playground.
Yeah, but I'm getting Sabine to get the girl.
Yeah, if Sabine was here, because currently Edge is not here.
Ah.
Oh, now he's back. You can now say what you wanted to say.
Go and save the girl.
I think
Alright,
your mic is still off.
that seems like a good idea. Like I said, let's go then.
I'll wait you at the shack.
You can just move your characters where you want them to be.
I'll follow you guys.
I'll just follow Peter.
Alright, Sabine. You arrive at Sammy's house, and you just hear Sammy laughing and giggling as there is running that you hear behind the door.
Oh,
Well, I'll just open the door then.
Well, the door is obviously unlocked because, child is not really that
she could have unhooked you. Why did she run?
thinking about their safety, and you see there is a small table at the center of what would be the living room, with like one
Yeah, that
single
was-
chair, considering that Sammy lives alone. And around that little table, you see Sammy just running around with Flora also running after him with like a stick, trying to poke him.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Missing out on all the cool games.
Get him.
I ask Flora to come over to me. And Sammy as well.
Sammy and Flora look at you two, is like, "Aw," and then Flora is like signing towards you, but I want to keep playing.
It'll only take a moment.
Alright, she approaches you. Sammy does too, although a little bit behind her.
Right, I explain, Flora, these herbs, they might not be what they seem. I will need them back for now.
Flora looks at Sammy and then looks at she goes up with her shoulders. She goes to the edge of the room and just takes the the bag with the flowers in it, because they haven't been used. They're just closed inside the bag, and she gives them to you.
No.
I thank her very much, pat her on the head. Then I look over to Sammy and ask him if he can lock the door.
How are you? I hear you.
Nobody comes here anyway, so whatever.
That doesn't answer the question.
It does, because he doesn't care about locking the door. Not needed. Nobody comes here anyways.
Well, no one may come here for you, but don't you want to keep Flora safe?
Wait, isn't she going with you?
I'm already on.
No, we're going to leave her here.
Oh,
Bye.
Do we drag her
Okay.
into the swamp?
Let's go.
I mean,
No,
do we
she
take her to the
doesn't
swamp?
know.
Is that the idea?
Basically.
alright. So as you do that, they give you a little bag with anti-bloom and lavender, and the Sammy goes a little bit behind the door. Well, my door really doesn't have a lock, but I can put a chain on it.
Well, that's better than nothing, I guess.
Right, then you just like pull the little chain on the side and clicks it, and then you hear the door, close.
And you will only open them for me, okay? I'll be back later. Don't worry about it.
Will we use a password?
Password sounds cool. What is a cool password?
And then he looks at at Flora. What password should we use? And Flora does some hand signs and is like, "Oh wait, let me go take the book." And then he takes the book. And And then he looks at her and then back to the book and looks at her and back to the book. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the first is... Okay. I think she spelled the name... what's a Famoria?
Name.
Amoria, it's a friend of us. Don't worry about it.
You see Floral being a little bit, melancholic, but she pipes up immediately. Okay, that'll be the word.
Right, I thank them, and I'm out of my way then. And remember to lock the door behind me. Bye bye.
Oh, he does, and the door does.
Yeah, when you unhooked me, like when you.
I think he's disappeared, is he?
All right. So, Sabine, you approach the others who are in front of the abandoned little shack. It's I would say big enough, almost as big as the mayor's house actually, in terms of length from left to right. And you see that the door itself has a few holes in it, but not like completely able to like see through. They're like small, like if you like ram the pan through it. You see a few of the, you see all of the windows are not broken, but they, with age and abandonment, they're like gray out a little bit on all sides, so it's kind of hard to look inside as well. From what you can see at first glance, there is only one entrance, which is the main front entrance, which are two large doors that can slide to the side.
Okay, we'll grab the door and start opening it.
All right, well, yeah, okay. So, how do you open the door? Do you open it with both hands and open do you open one side only? How do you want to do this?
One side only, both hands.
All right. So as you do that, you hear some creaking sound, like as the rust on certain as the rust on the metal starts to like come a little bit loose. But you do manage to open the door with relative ease. There is a, how do you say this? An old smell that comes out from within. Not in the sense that it is putrid or stinky or horrible, but only a lot of like new wind goes inside, takes a twirl in it, and comes outside with some dust
Yeah.
and smell within it.
Stagnant.
Yeah, stagnant. That's the correct term. Thank you. And well, you see within it that it is indeed completely abandoned. You see a few tables. You see, strangely enough, in the corner on the right side, right top side of the shack, you see a single cage in there that is secured to the edge of the shack. Open. The door itself is not even there anymore. It's just a cage. You see some old hay that's been grayed out on the floor from the sides, indicating like they were makeshift beds, probably for the previous sick that were there. But it's obvious that it's been quite a few years that anything happened here. So other than that, you don't see anything more of note immediately. Oh, you do see one kind of like on the other side of the shack, mirroring the little cell. You do see sort of like a desk that's sort of like a half circle at the edge, indicating that could have been the desk that you would have approached before when it was the previous healer's house. And that's about it. Everything you'll see in it.
All right.
There is enough light that goes inside from the windows, even though they are obscured by age.
We should send the investigator in.
Indeed.
Why are you looking
Huh?
at me like that?
We'll start shoving you in.
Okay, fine, fine. Got it,
Point
I got
out the 2 points of interest until you get to work.
Mhm.
Well, I would like to investigate those places, but I don't know which to start with.
Mhm. All right. Can you specify what you would like to investigate specifically?
Well, I'll look for any clues of uh, like tinkering with the how to describe this. Huh. This might take me a while. Please, somebody do
Alright, take
something
your
else.
time. Okay,
Documents?
can I do a medicine check? Wait, first of all, is there any remaining medicine lying around, like old medicine or stuff, or old bottles
Oh,
or
in terms
vials?
of so no, this place has been cleaned out completely. Other than what I've described, uh, seeing as nurses and doctors need to be very meticulous about their equipment, nothing is left. It's completely emptied out, other than the empty cell, the empty desk, and the old hay beddings that are on the sides of the shack.
There may be some hidden compartment around.
Right, I'll try to at the at the empty desk. I'll try to investigate for any like forgotten papers that are hidden from view, or
Mm,
maybe hidden
so
mechanisms.
hidden mechanisms, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's just first start with a perception check before we go into investigation.
I had something with perception, like an ability.
Not a very good one, it looks like.
It's quite an old desk for you.
Can I take a look as well?
Can I?
Sure, you can be the
Can I
second.
do something with eye for detail?
You can use a bonus action to make a wisdom check to spot a hidden creature or object to make an intelligence, uncover or decipher clues. Hmm. Like a bonus action to make bonus action. That's a bit weirdly. It's like you would do that in combat.
Right.
It's really weird because normally using it would require an action, but this allows you to use it like in combat. Say, like for example, you're in a death trap which you need to escape. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that would be helpful, but I think in this situation, normal actions are enough because now you will do the same again,
That's
which
a
I
good
don't
try.
think will do. How about we let Skux do it one final time, and we'll see what that will bring up.
I am looking for documents, hidden compartments, possible hidden buttons, hidden levers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, an 18. So, Skux, as you see Peter overthinking a lot of the things on his desk, you, as he doesn't even touch the desk, he just looks at it with an inquisitive mind. It's like, how in the world
People
would, like,
used
I
to
don't know.
write on this.
So, like, he looks at it almost like, like trying to think how in quantum mechanics would apply to this, to this desk. As this happens, you just, put your hand on the desk and just, swipe across it. You see a lot of the dust goes away, and as you do that, you actually do notice that the dust on a particular part of this desk um, almost looks a bit more leveled down, where there is like a square, like a square in that place, like sort of like leveling downwards.
Sort of like a hidden
Maybe,
a lid or something.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
I will try and break it up with my dagger.
All right, so you don't need to do anything of a check. You put your dagger on one side and try to like open it, and indeed it opens up and it clicks open, and within it you see a small little book.
I will first look up at Peter and be like, huh. And then I'll take the book.
All right. You can do
Ha! Have you considered becoming a detective?
that.
I have a 3.
So do I.
Right,
The book
what
itself
is the
in that
book?
compartment has not aged in a bad way. Some pages do look a bit more like as if it was wet, but then it became dry, so it's kind of like it won't crack immediately, but it's, not in the best of shape. But flipping through all the pages, you can see that there is enough written in it. What would you like to do?
Read it.
All
Flip
right.
through and see if I can see if anything of interest.
So, to summarize everything about it, what you just opened is a diary, sort of. It's less of a diary and more of a day-to-day recollection, medical recollections, to say the
Belonging
least.
to.
As you look at the initials, this actually is called Medical Recollections by Dr. Zeno.
Interesting.
All
Yeah.
right. So let me open my notes a little bit.
Is he sharing any of this with us, or is he just gonna scucks it?
I'm assuming you guys are just looking down on the book.
Yeah, I'm looking over your shoulder.
It's not hard. You're like a meter taller than me.
All right.
I
So
was still
first of all, it's
outside.
all written in common, so you all can read it. So that's not an issue right now.
Okay.
Rather than do an entire story about it, I think for time purposes, I will just mention a few bullet points of interest. Or would you like me to actually narrate as if it is a medical record?
I'm fine with the narration.
All right. Okay. Let me just see. The first few pages of the medical narration aren't really of complete interest. One talks about a child who fell and broke his knee. Another one talks about a soldier that had a long cut across its arm. They're all in order of date, by the way, and they seem just normal recollections for the doctor to then. Uh, so the doctor seems to work with observing a situation, explaining the situation, then seeing how the situation came to be, because context is important in terms of medical aid. And then at the bottom you see potential medical advice and or procedures, and then at the bottom you can see whether it had succeeded or not. And this happens for a few pages until you see that rather than it being an actual medical record, you see that the doctor mentions the following. Strange tidings have happened with this village. It has been surrounded by strange trees. Lots of people have been trying to leave, but they either come back or they never do anymore. We, by my assessment, seem to have been trapped. Let's see what else is written here. All right. Mayor Jackson has told all soldiers to find ways out, but unfortunately there are no current ways to actually leave. This, of course, does not impart my current work, but it makes me worry. What about my resources? How will I be able to aid my people without the correct amount of resources? Then the day after, you see, it has come to my attention that not just our village has been taken, but the swamp, the mire, has also been overtaken. This is peculiar, but also not unwelcome. because of it, I will be able to procure a lot of my resources for, let's just say, anti-bloom, which only seems to grow inside this swamp next to us. Um, its properties are of great value. We are very lucky in this unlucky time. The next page goes to there have been sightings of strange green mists across this town. It is eerie, and it makes me anxious. The people are fine at a first glance, but as a doctor, it it makes me worry about the well-being of everybody's health. A few days later, written, it says some guards have come back. After the normal checkups, considering their fighting with the wildlife outside, um, it has come to my attention that one hasn't been feeling well. After multiple checkups, it has come to my attention that uh, he is sick with an unknown disease. Because of this, I have asked Mayor Jackson to allow me to quarantine this one soldier to investigate as to what is happening. Multiple other pages go through talking about what this doctor actually did to that patient to uncover, you know, the potentials of this plague, of this disease. Um, Multiple pages later, you see there are more. It it irks me. More people are getting the same symptoms as this soldier, and the soldier himself is becoming worse. He is starting to gain black markings on its entire body. He's starting to feel feverish and starting to become very lethargic. Um, this is very, very, very dire. It has come to my attention, though, that the use of anti-bloom makes it makes the plague take a lot longer to um, it takes a lot longer for the plague to take effect. Um, but I have to do something against the smell. Is in a small addendum on the corner of the book. A few parts later is like grave tidings has come to me. Mayor Jackson is one of the infected. I have tried everything I can with the anti-bloom serums, but for some reason the strain of Mayor Jackson is working so fast and so strong. It's it's unheard of. Strangely enough, the anti-bloom is working for a lot of the soldiers, but Mayor Jackson is just degrading at a huge and a fast pace. A few entries later, um, it says it has also come to my attention that the same day that the plague arrived, a family arrived of three, a mother, a father, and their child. Um, they have been given a small house at the edge next to the cemetery by Mayor Jackson at their arrival. Uh, Now that Mayor Jackson has unfortunately passed away today, there are rumors of who is to be the next mayor. Um, at this point, there is no form of direction, and there is a lot of chaos on the streets. It has also come to my attention that the parents of said child in my previous entry have become infected. Um, let's see. Alright. Today, the child's mother came to me, asking whether she knew the whereabouts of the father. This is strange. The father was in good condition, but I can already see the symptoms on the mother's face. She's infected. I have told her to stay in quarantine and to not still to stay as far away from her child as possible. As expected, her reaction was that of utter despair. A few entries later, it has come to my attention that many people want me to take up the mayor position. Honestly, I have no intent of doing anything like that. In my eyes, it is more of um, a status than anything else, rather than a place of function. If anything, I would do anything in my power to use that status to enhance the function of the medical side of the city. On second thought, maybe I will do so. And then a few entries later, He talks about how he was given the mayor position and how he used his influence as a doctor to skew the resources more towards a better healer house, which is the reason why this shack was abandoned and the new healer house was instigated. A few entries later, he talks about the disappearance of the child's father. A few other notifications that now that he's as mayor, he understands the situation that a lot of people are blaming the family for the coming of the plague. Preposterous, according to Dr. Zeno. How can one family of with no form of any magical or medical means incur a plague of this virulence or uh, what was the name again of this magnitude? If anything, they started to gain symptoms far later than any other person in this city. They could not have been carried. Um, a few entries later, it is the child, Sammy. He is peculiar. I have run multiple tests on the child and given him a unique band, a black one. It seems he is immune to the plague. This is interesting. Although I am a doctor of more moral standards, it has not been beyond me to use this child as a means to cure everyone from the plague. But I have to be smart about it. Nobody likes the child. That is apparent. But I don't think I have it in my heart to do anything wrong with him. Yet. A few entries later, you see that he's talking about it's finally finished. A new healer's house. And just when we needed it. A giant influx of the plague has exponentially increased. I have told the guards to patrol in front of the area at the Black Marsh. Strangely enough, I have a theory that the plague might have originated from there. The let's just see. Was there anything else of noteworthy to say? Nope. Once he talks about the new healer's house, that is the last entry of that particular book. Are there any questions that I need to repeat because this was a giant load of information?
You said that was going to be written down somewhere for us, so look through.
No, I was just gonna either talk in bullet points or I was going to narrate.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously, I couldn't write down all of that at once. So is there like a something I can read later on to renote?
Sure. You have to understand that the bullet points on my side are a bit more in term, will spoil a bit more of the story than must, so I'll have to rewrite them differently. But I can one by one tell you a few. No, this would work, but no. If I tell you all the important parts one by one, it would kind of like ruin the point of you making personal notes. How about this? I will put bullet points. The important parts, anyways. If in the future I go fast like this again because you are writing notes, do tell me to stop, slow down, or repeat something of importance that you think is important. All right?
Okay.
What you can write down from this, what you can write down for this is how Sammy's family came to be. You have to write down the reasons as to why Dr. Zeno became mayor, because as you saw, it was Mayor Jackson before, Mayor Zeno came after. Mayor Jackson was infected, but strangely enough, Antibloom did not work on him, while it did work on other people, while they had the same plague. Oh, here's another failed mention. Just as with the mayor, multiple other people in this city also had no effect with the anti-bloom. The names currently are of no importance, but there were a few that for some reason had either a stronger strain of the plague, or for some reason their body could not process the anti-bloom. This is still up to question. You also need to know how the healer house came thanks to thanks to Mayor Dr. Zeno's becoming mayor. Other than that, did I miss a bullet point? No. Introduction of how the plague came to be in the town. Introduction of how the town was surrounded by the forest. Introduction of Sammy's family. Introduction of certain individuals not being affected by the anti-bloom, e.g. Jackson. I think that's the most important things you can write down for now.
Yeah, I think I've got most of it.
All right, good. Whew. After that mouthful, what would you like to do?
Huh.
Any ideas?
So, why are some people more affected? This is me in character asking the other people around me, not asking God. Why are more people infected? Is that they? Because you said the poison plant. Are they all eating the poison plants? Is everyone eating the poison plants, or is some people not eating the poison plants?
It's important to note that nobody's eating the plants. Everybody is putting them in their masks so that they can slowly.
Skux ate some plants.
I'd like to remind you that that was the flower and not the plant I suspected for poison that I ate.
Yes, so you did eat anti-bloom and lavender.
Not the anti-bloom, no.
Just the lavender.
The lavender.
It is mixed within your mask.
Oh well, at least I spit it out, okay?
Did you? I wrote you
Possibly.
ate it.
No, I chewed on it. I didn't say I ate it.
Enough juices to go through. All right. Sure. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So currently, as you can read, that's what happened until now. At least you have to understand that you can deduce without needing to do any form of rolls that because of the age of the previous shack and the book that was hidden in here, it was a few years before the last entry finished. Maybe 2 to 3, seeing that's the dates. This would indicate that the child, Sammy, would have arrived here at around 6 to 7 years old. Yes, 6 to 7 years old.
How is this village still alive?
Oh, it was bigger, as you can see from some houses being developed by the trees. Yeah.
This doctor, he still seemed like he wanted to help everyone, but I wouldn't take him for a major, so maybe there's still something we're missing.
We need more evidence. I mean, we can go and ask the doctor. We can go in the black marshes and see for ourselves.
I feel like before we confront him, we need all the things clear, so maybe the marsh is a thing, but I'm not sure how you can smuggle the rest of us in there.
Yeah, especially me, since I'm like a doctor here.
I can try to charm one person, but everybody will be watching me, and I don't think it's a good idea to charm authorities.
Maybe we
Charlie.
can... Charlie still has an insignia, doesn't he? Maybe he can say that it's proof that we need to be in the swamp to get him some medicine for his doctor work.
Me and Zop have already proven ourselves. You can go and try that, or I mean, we can try and vouch for you, maybe.
There's no shot I can evade these hits.
Can Charlie not try and look for another book? Because he hid a book in this one. Maybe he hides a book in his new place. So if he's working there tomorrow, he can look for one.
I could sneak in.
Okay, so no indication that it is true what you just said, Ether, but I really like the way you think, so you can gain an inspiration token just because that was so smart and so cool. Because it does, again, no indication that it's true. Could be not, but this kinds of thinking is to be rewarded, even if it's true or not. So you can add an inspiration token.
Thank you.
I-
Good boys get the treats.
I could maybe convince the guards that we will have to go to the swamp as per order.
You have
But
to
I-
understand, Charles, that you have, just like how Dr. Zeno has, a black Plague Doctor mask. The only one of 2 that are currently in this village. So maybe I'm failed to mention it, but as you do pass through the village, a lot of other people are looking at you either in awe, with respect, or bowing their heads because they
Oh,
see
really?
How much of your face is hidden?
it is.
Oh my
So
God.
one could argue
Yeah,
that they
those
look
one
the
were-
same.
They're making friends
No.
with the high.
Dr. Zenos is actually taller than Charles.
And I could just convince the guards that we have to go there.
Also,
without-
he has completely different clothes.
We can
Yeah, fair
disguise him.
Possible, if you can get your hands on Zeno's clothes.
So there's
She
2
did have
ways. The first one is we ask the guards, and the second one is we steal
Oh,
into
she did
the
have
healer's house and get some of his clothes.
Well, I
would
think
say-
Scog was saying that his mask's got a state is an authority figure. It's a very like high class mask, so he might just be able to say, "Look, let me through. I'm better than you," sort of thing.
All right. So, while you're all talking like that, I would like to mention that the shack itself looks cozy.
Ooh.
Could be of interest since
late?
the lack of a inn in this village.
I got a fucking
What
mouthful
is the
of
time of the day, if I may ask?
Currently, it is in the afternoon. I would say 3 to 4.
It's
With the
still
state
too
of the
early.
sun, that is difficult to be seen through the green fog.
I mean, you guys can do that. I will go to the secluded house and chill out with them.
That's also a possibility. Um, but it's still bristling with people. You can do whatever you would like to do right now. If I'm not mistaken, you're already all long rested. You all have your HP. You all have your spell slots. So it's up to you what you would like to do.